welcome back to another episode of Saturday with Mammie K. Good to see all of you out there. And today we are making a double smash cheeseburger with special sauce. Last week we did kind of a complicated crab bisque, right? Mm-hmm. So today it's going to be super simple. We're just going to make a burger, greasy cheeseburger. There's nothing wrong with that every once in a while.
Crazy one. Yeah. Crazy.
This one is going to be a little bit along the style of an amped up Big Mac, except we're going to forego the extra bread and just slap the two patties right on top of each other. Mince up some onions. We won't do the iceberg lettuce, not because I'm against it, but because I forgot it. So with that said, we will start this pan ripping hot and mince up some onions and get ready to go. You all set?
I'm set.
Okay. Okay, to mince this onion, there's a couple ways we can do it. The first thing we have to do is just top and tail the onion and then cut it in half. I've already done that part. When I tailed it, which is cutting the root scar off, I left the root together though, because we want that to hold together while we work with it. And generally speaking, there's a couple methods we can do. A lot of times, because you need to break up the segments, people will do what's called the suicide cut, going this way. Make a couple cuts that way, and then go around the knife straight, or around the onion straight through, and then make their dice. Now, for our purposes, for example, if you're teaching a child or something, you may not want them to start by using this suicide cut. It's not a very safe cut, and there is another way that you can get just about the same results. So what I'm going to do, and I'll just show you this kind of diagram, like I'm going to come through this way, but I'm going to cut in a radial fashion this way across, straight down at the top, and then a radial fashion this way down, and then I can completely skip slicing through the segments this way and go straight to my dice. And especially since we're finishing it with a rock chop to mince the onion, we don't really need it to be perfect. So it will not be, you won't get quite the same results, but most people aren't even going to know the difference. So let me show you how this works. So again, instead of cutting this way first, I'm just going to do my radial cut to the root scar. And as I come up the onion, I'm going to straighten the knife up. And then coming down the other side, I have to start cutting back in again toward the root scar. And you'll notice the onion holds together, and my very next cut is already dicing these pieces. So I'm going to take just a little bit of this, and then we're going to do what's called a rock chop, which is a very safe and a good one to teach children, as long as you push the food away from the blade. Don't cut yourself while you're pushing the food off. So the rock chop is simply to take these diced pieces, and we want to make a mince, so we want it finer than that, kind of like you get at McDonald's. So I'm just going to put the tip of the knife on the board. It doesn't need to leave the board at all. Again, curling my fingers away from the blade, and I'm just going to rock the knife down, and I can do it one way, scrape it together, come back the other way, and then come at it from other angles. And all I have to do is just continue doing this until I get the mince that I want. Okay, so I'll finish this. You don't need to watch this. As soon as we're done with that, our pan is getting hot even as we speak, and we will be ready to do our smash burgers, and our minced onion will go very good with that. Okay, our pan is starting to smoke. We know it's ripping hot right now. I'm going to take a quick temperature on it we're over 500 degrees, because the thing we want to do is smash these burgers immediately onto the hottest grill we can get. Usually I use a flat iron. It's going to be a little more difficult to do it this way, but what that's going to do is create real fast Maillard reaction before the fat renders, and it will keep that burger juicy. Don't let anybody tell you that a smashed burger can't be juicy. So here's how we're going to do it. My favorite method is I use this 2 spatula method, so I have one to press it down and then this scraper to push down on that. This is kind of my way of doing it. I think we'll do 2 at a time. So we put it in, and immediately I want to smash that burger down and feather it out a little bit. And as soon as I'm done doing that, I just want to leave it alone. I'll do that with a second one. I think we can only get 2 on at a time. Smash it down and even kind of feather it out a little bit. And this is a really fast cooking process, but as soon as I get it on there, before 30 seconds has passed, I want to leave that burger alone. And we'll see some of the juices come up through. The edges start to get a little bit crispy. Turn them over one time. It's a real fast way to make a burger, but it's going to add lots and lots of flavor. There are restaurants that are based entirely on the smash burger. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Well, when we went to that Freddy's, the place that had custard, that's a smash burger, a steak burger, smash burger.
Oh, okay.
And I like to fan them out. You can get them nice and thin, nice and crispy, but this one is just about ready, probably about 30 more seconds. And again, with the protein, once we smash it onto the griddle, we want to leave it alone. It's going to release on its own as long as we leave it alone. And I can see the browning happen. We can see the juices start to push up through. And
no,
it is going to be a
right.
fully cooked burger. And you can see this two spatula method is also useful because I can scrape into that burger and just make sure I'm loosening it up a little bit. This one is going to have a lot of nice crust on it.
Yeah.
But I probably should let it release a little
That's
bit more.
good. That's
But we'll go ahead and turn these over one time. It'll only take just a minute or so on the other side, and then these burgers will be fully cooked. I can temp them out, yeah, and you can, I don't know if you can't see, Mom, but there's a nice crust all the way across that whole burger. That's exactly what we're looking for.
yeah, looks wonderful.
Second one is ready to roll. This pan's a little bit slippery on this surface, but we'll flip that over just like that, and we have got a beautiful looking smash burger. Before they come off, I'm going to go ahead and throw the cheese on. What we want to do with this is we're going to let the cheese melt and let some of the cheese actually hit the pan and get browned, and then we're going to pull them off.
Okay.
So these should be just about ready at this point for their cheese. I'm just going to check them with my finger. They need a little more time. We want that cheese fully melted. So as they're finishing up cooking, and again, if we can get, a lid would help right now, would be a good idea, but what we're going to do is try and get a little bit of that cheese to come down and hit the pan. Cheese that's been grilled on an actual surface tastes completely different than others. Some of you already know this. In Uruguay, they will take bits of cheese and just put them on their grill as an hors d'oeuvre, and they'll just brown them and then they'll bring them and you can eat them. They're really, really good. All right, so these are just about ready. We're going to pull them off. I'll finish the other two. You don't need to watch me do that. And then we'll have Mammie K set the table and we'll assemble these. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds yummy.
Okay, Mom, you know what everybody wants, and you have to give your prediction before you get to eat. That's the deal.
Oh boy, that's the deal? Well, I'll do it. I'll do it. The prediction I have today is Packers 31 and the Seahawks 28.
31-28. Who do you think is going to be playing quarterback?
I think Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
I do think that that'll happen this time.
Okay. All right. Well, I will dish you up. I will make you up a burger, and I think you have a story to tell because we're having just nothing but burgers and cherry Coke today.
That's good.
That's a cheating meal. We're not doing any veggies or anything like that. We're not
cheating.
being good.
We'll make up for it
We'll make
next
up
time.
But you tell them your story.
Well, I was telling Brady that when I was a teenager, we used to go to the malt shop next to the school. In fact, I went to junior high school and senior high school. And at the malt shop, many of our friends, we didn't have a lot of money still. We had Cokes and chips, and we dipped them in ketchup. That was a
Coke and
treat.
chips dipped in ketchup.
Yes, that was a treat for us.
Sounds delicious.
There were other kids that had other things, but we had that. But we were happy, and it was a great place. The malt shop, everybody just loved going there after school.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got just 2 layers here with our special sauce in between, which by the way is just ketchup, mustard, a little white wine vinegar, and some pickle. And then our minced onions, and we're ready to go ahead and eat, I think.
That sounds good.
Yeah, now this one you get to mash down because it's going to be messy, and I'm going to go get you a napkin, but we'll mash it down like that.
Smashing
And I think you're ready to go. Folks, we appreciate you jumping on.
Yes.
Thank you for watching Saturday with Mammie K,
Go
and
Pack.
we'll see you next week.
Go, Pack.
Packer Nation worldwide.